Now the country's intelligence has put Russia on the list of states able to threaten American interests with military force, espionage, cyber operations, and in other ways. A report by National Intelligence puts Russia and China in the same category as Iran and North Korea. It says that although Russia is a partner in securing fissile material and combating nuclear terrorism, it may continue to seek avenues for reasserting power in ways that complicate U.S. interests. The document will drive the priorities for 16 intelligence agencies over the next 4 years. And now I'm joined live by Alexander Pikayev, a leading expert for the Russia-based Institute of World Economy and International Relations. Hello to you, Alexander. Thanks for joining us. Now, first of all, how do you estimate the fact Russia will be regarded as a possible threat to the United States during the whole of Barack Obama's presidential term?
Well, first of all, Russia was not called a threat, and Russia was not called a challenge. It was only said that some Russian policies could complicate American interests. And actually, although Russia was mentioned in the same category like Iran, North Korea, and China, China was called as a global challenge, but Russia could only complicate American interests. So the language was a bit different. However, it is quite disappointing that the Obama administration, despite all this rhetoric to reset the U.S.-Russian interest, mentioned Russia in a category of those 4 only countries which could potentially create challenges or complications for American interests.
Now, where does Washington actually see a possible conflict of interest with Moscow? Can you give us any examples of that?
Well, so far the Obama administration reviewing its foreign policy towards Russia. However, as far as I understand, the United States traditionally pursued a policy of preventing reintegration in the post-Soviet space. It's one of the major national priorities of the Russian Federation, so that here the sides have been at odds and they continue being at odds. The Russians don't like American attempts to dominate in the world stage, and of course the Russians doesn't like Americans to expand into post-Soviet space, into what they perceive as a Russian backyard. And here indeed the countries would continue to disagree. There should be any illusions about that.
Now, Alexander, let's now try to grasp the logic of Washington. So we know in the previous report released in October 2005, no concrete states were named as possible threats, with fighting terrorism announced a major goal. Now, what are the reasons behind the change of strategy now?
Well, this is difficult to understand why the Bush administration, which was universally accused in unilateralism, issued much more balanced and politically correct intelligence report than this first report of the Obama administration, because in a time when Obama administration claims its desire to go into multilateralism and pragmatism, and I believe it's not very pragmatic when you need cooperation from China in order to stabilize world economy, when you want support from Russia to stabilize Afghanistan or to have nuclear non-proliferation and disarmament. At the same time, you put them into the same category like North Korea and Iran. This is difficult to understand, and I believe this is a mistake of Obama administration, and it would considerably complicate the U.S.-Russian cooperation.
Well, thank you very much for your analysis. That was Alexander Pikayev, a leading expert for the Russia-based Institute of World Economy and International Relations. Thanks very much for your opinion, Mr. Pikayev.